Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the best talents on each of the damages. Make sure to send this to anybody who needs this video. If you're just getting into damage, just getting into Paladins, wanting to get started with damage, etc. Here you go. Talents wise. We also just revamped the Discord, so make sure to come check it out. Link is in the description. Building an absolutely amazing community with all of you guys, and I hope to see you guys there. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop straight into it. First is Omen. I'm going to have to give this one to Everyone Dies. Just having that extra utility with being able to reset his grab whenever you hit somebody with your dash. Or not fully reset it, but about 50%, plus increase the damage on his dash. It's just going to give him that extra utility that he didn't have before. Binary Void is fine. None of his talents are actually good. But Binary Void is also fine if you really want to go. But I think that increased cooldown on an already decently long cooldown of 12 seconds is just kind of rough. But he does get 2 charges of it. So if you do want to go it, go ahead. But personally, I find that Everyone Dies is just a bit better. Having more utility, probably more safety, just because you're able to reset that grab. Or 50% off the grab whenever you hit somebody with the dash. So that's what I'm going to have to give it. Plus that 100 extra damage. So yeah, for me, it's Everyone Dies for Omen. Betty, this is going to Fiery Disposition. This is just going to give you that bit of extra damage to where you can 3-tap people. As you can see there with Fiery Disposition, it's going to end that Victor. So you're just able to get a bit of extra damage. It used to be a lot better when it procced on both abilities and just had more damage in general. So yeah, still is Fire Disposition. It's not the greatest anymore, but it does give you that bit of extra damage and helping out with finishing those low health targets and just overall a bit more damage, and you're going to have the most success with it. The issue with the other ones, Hail Fury talent, which is called Control Fury, is just going to kind of reduce the effectiveness of the zone control in this, and Gotta Bounce is just kind of reducing your mobility by quite a bit, just for a little bit of trade-off on that safety. So you're kind of trading off safety for safety, so it's a little bit rough. So yeah, I would just still go with Fiery Disposition. It's going to help you 3-tap targets like that, and you'll just be doing a bit more damage overall. Now, as BK is going to go to Royal Subjects, but you can go Chain Reaction in some circumstances. But for the most part, Royal Subjects is going to do you better. You're going to have a lot more mobility, and you're going to have a bit more safety with that. Now, it does reduce your knockback on enemies, but if you're able to keep yourself safe with that double Poppy Bomb, then you should be just fine without it. It does mean you can't knock people back into stuff, or you can't knock them away from you, but especially when you're on open maps, it's just going to make you survive a lot more. Especially when you do have both up, you're able to just get away for basically completely free. So yeah, you're able to just kind of freely run out, and then you don't really need that knockback on them. So yeah, it's going to go to Poppy Bomb, or Royal Subjects. Now, as Cassie, I see Cassie both using Exaction and Impulse. Both of these are just fine. I think it's really just up to you on what you want to go with Cassie. Impulse is just going to make Blast Shot do a bit more damage and reduce cooldown, and Exaction is going to give you more damage off your first shot off of using your roll. So it's going to give you that bit of extra burst damage to help pierce people down, and then Impulse is just going to give you that damage on your Blast Shot. So yeah, it's kind of just up to you on what you want to go. It's one or the other. Big Game just isn't that good unless you're like melting tanks or something, but even then, it's like very meh and definitely not that great. So yeah, it's gonna be Exaction or Impulse. For Dredge, it's most of the time going to be Scuttle or a base Spike. Both of them increases damage output by quite a bit. But if you're playing, unfortunately, into like a Drogoz or Andro as Dredge, then you're going to go Hurl. This is going to be your closest thing to a hit scan. So if you're playing against something that you need hit scan for, you're going to want to go Hurl. Other than that, Scuttle and Abyss Spike are both going to be your better option in just most circumstances. You're just going to get that extra damage from that AoE reload damage, and Abyss Spike is just going to give you more damage on that Harpoon. Exploding for 1,000 whenever they get in range. So yeah, it's kind of up to you which one of those you want to go. But generally, I would say Scuttle is the most effective one. And then you go Death Dance. And then you have that overall just better AoE damage. But Abyss Spike is also fine. And if you're playing into something that you need hit scan for, then you're going to want to go Hurl. Drogoz, all of his talents are basically useful in a lot of different circumstances. Fusillade and Combustible are his most used talents. I would say Fusillade is probably his best talent, but Combustible is also just as good. They're both very equally good. If you're really good at hitting your shots, then you're going to benefit a lot from Fusillade. If you kind of struggle with that, then I wouldn't say go Fusillade, and I would go Combustible just to have that extra damage on that on the salvo. But Wormjets is also fine if you're going for like a infinite like air build or something. So it's really up to you. I would say combustible if you can't really land your rockets as much, but if you can, then go Fusillade. Amani honestly has 3 separate playstyles, and they all are probably equally as good, but I would say Mana Rift is just her worst. Not that it's even bad, but just being forced to sit still in a certain spot just to get your Mana Rift is the least beneficial of all of her talents. The other ones give her good AoE damage from Pyromania, meaning that you just have overall better area control, and you can play that playstyle, or you have Splitting Ice playstyle, where you just focus on your ice stance, having that extra damage there. So it's either Splitting Ice or Pyromania are going to be her best talents, but I think Mana Rift is probably her worst. Kinessa, it's going to be Reposition. Having that instant TP is just a lot better, especially when you're getting dove. You just want to have that instant TP to be able to get away a bit quicker, set up a bit quicker on like Frog Isle, then you can set up quicker, but having that instant TP is just a lot better than her other talents. Now, Steady Aim can sometimes work, but for the most part, you just really want to be doing that reposition and having that extra safety by just being able to instantly teleport. Vion, her best talent is easily Precision. It actually technically got buffed in this last patch because they increased her base damage, meaning that Precision also increases more damage because of the buff. So technically, Precision did get a minor buff with the patch whenever they buffed, Leon with Season 7. So yeah, it's going to Precision. If you don't need Precision, then I would say Alacrity is her second best talent, and then on some maps, maybe like Shadow Desert, you could go Eminence, but I would say Precision, then Alacrity, then Eminence, and basically always go Precision. Octavia, this is going to Hell or High Water. Having that extra sustain, making it a bit harder to dive a character who's kind of hard or kind of easy to dive and kill, is just going to be a lot better, especially if you're in a spot like this, let's say ledge, where you can bounce your dash off and then instantly land. On top of this, you also get infinite ammo, so you can kind of just like sit in this and spam until you need your ammo back. And there you go. And then you have infinite ammo on top of having self-heal. So if they are diving you, you can sit in your self-heal while spamming this while they're diving you. So yeah, Hell or High Water is going to be her best. Sati before the nerf was Heads or Tails probably for spamming, but now it's just back to Windows of Opportunity. Just having that extra damage on your basics after somebody dives you, and then easy setup with it too by knocking them up is just a lot better in like basically every circumstance than her other talents, and just being able to have that easy setup into easy anti-dive damage is just going to be a lot better. And you're really picking this character for that anti-dive, and then you obviously have your ult for zone control. So you want to be going Heads or Tails now for that extra damage on whoever is deciding to dive you. I cannot believe I just missed so many shots. Shaw, honestly, all of his talents are just fine, and all of them have their own uses. Sandtrap is going to be probably the most common one, having that AoE cripple, just making it really easy to land. Desert Silent does kind of get countered by Unbound quite a bit, but technically you could say the same thing for Sandtrap. But it does apply a silence and slows them instead of that cripple. So if you're needing that silence, let's say you're getting dove by somebody who is going to have more than just movement abilities, then you could go Desert Silence, and then Recurve is just going to increase your overall damage output. I would say go Sandtrap or Desert Silence depending on your situation, but you also can still go Recurve if you just need overall more damage output. But yeah, Sandtrap or Desert Silence are going to be his best, just going to increase his utility, being able to lock characters down that have a lot of mobility. For Strix, this is going to Nocturnal. This is just going to make him safer, both by decreasing his stealth like meter consumption by a bit, and increasing his movement speed while in stealth. So it's just going to make him a bit safer, especially since he doesn't have safety, basically. He has flash, but that's really about it. So having the safety from yourself is just going to be a lot better when getting doped by people, and when you're picking him, which is usually on like Frog places you're kind of just really easy to get doped by. So yeah, I'm going to be going Nocturnal to give him that extra safety. Tiberius, this is going to Tigran's Fury. Vicious Assault can be fine, but Tigran's Fury, base kit sword just takes absolutely ages to come back, so making that instant plus more dirt damage is going to be a lot better. Attack against melee is just going to increase its overall burst damage and make it to where you don't spend half the match in an animation pulling back your sword. Alright, so Tyra just got nerfed with Hunting Party. Hunting Party used to be her best, but now I would say Mercy Kill is her best. Having this 3 charges, it's just going to be a lot better. You can still go Mercy Kill when you need it. Let's say they have a Drogo, so they have somebody who you guys just want to focus down and burn. Then you can still go Hunting Party, so your whole team can melt them. But in basically every other circumstance, you're just going to want to go Mercy Kill with a Mercy Kill build and probably a bit of Chronos, and then you can just spam nades. You can still go Burn Monster in like very niche situations, but for the most part, you just want to be going Mercy Kill and then the off chance of going Hunting Party every now and then. For Victor, it's either Burst Mode or Shrapnel. It's kind of up to you. Shrapnel is going to give you an extra AoE on that grenade, so it's going to help you burst down either group targets or a bunker comp, or it also helps burst down tanks a bit better. And then Burst Mode is just going to overall increase your total burst damage output. Obviously, in the name is Burst Mode. So against squishies, it's going to be the most effective, and then the Shrapnel is going to be a little bit better against tanks. So yeah, it's kind of up to you which one you want to go, but those two are by far his best talents. Do not go cardio. It is honestly just a throw pick on cardio. Vivian, all 3 of her talents definitely have their uses, but Booby Trap is the most reliable. Having that extra burst damage of 600 is just kind of helpful for getting people down and increasing her roll charge. Suspect Everyone is good if you need that anti-dive. If you're getting dove quite a bit, or you need that extra safety, then you can go it and you will have your shield up a bit more often, and sometimes twice in a flank. And then Opportunity and Chaos, if they honestly have like triple tank, or they're for some reason running like Yag Rom, then you could sometimes go it, or just like in general, triple tank, or even 2 really beefy things. Opportunity Chaos can be fine. But other than that, don't be running Opportunity Chaos. That's by far her worst. So Booby Trap, if you Booby Trap as her normal general base talent, and Suspect Everyone if they have if you really need that extra safety, and Opportunity and Chaos if they have like triple tank. Lastly is Willow. After the buffs, I would have to say Blast Power is going to be her best. Getting this extra damage on your basic weapon is just kind of, it's really nice having that extra damage. Now you still can go Nightshade. It still gives you that extra burst damage from Dead Zone, so it's still fine, but I would have to say Blast Power is now her best, just increasing her overall just DPS and damage output. So yeah, that is all the best talents on the damages. That's going to wrap it up for this talent guide series type of thing, and we're going to continue with the character guides right after this. Make sure to join the Discord. We just revamped the Discord. Make sure to check it out. Building an amazing and open diverse community. So hope to see you guys there. Gonna have a ton of resources for new, even to up to average players, where 95% of my content is targeted. So yeah, make sure you join up, and hope to see you guys there. And make sure to drop a sub and a like if you enjoyed. Peace out.